Welcome everyone! Today's study has a theme we'd all love to use on our opponents: paralyzing them. Making sure they can only watch how they're going to lose. That's the end goal, at least. The study starts out with another theme, and that's double attacks. Just pause the video and see if you can figure it out. Having said that a double attack is how we should start, hopefully you found this one. G4. Attacking the bishop on f5, but also threatening with a check on h1 and winning the other bishop. Obviously we can't move two bishops at a time, so the only way to save both is with a counter threat, and so the only move is f6 check. Now the king should step carefully, make the wrong move and it's already a draw. The wrong move is king to f4, because what happens now is that the dark squared bishop secures itself on e5 with check. King to e3 is the only move, and after bishop to e6, there's actually no way to win anymore. White can check, but then the king goes to h6. Now there isn't a check anymore, so let's say white tries to bring the king over. Then simply king to g5. And when the queen then comes back, then the king will go back, and you can try this yourself, but there's really no way to win anymore. Therefore the right move is king to h4. But now white doesn't have that check on h1 anymore, but both bishops are still hanging and black has to go for another check. If he would try bishop to e6, then first queen b7 check. If king to g8, then a check on a8, the bishop drops and black loses. There are other moves that black can try, for example bishop to c8, but then queen to a8 will win a bishop. And if lastly bishop to c2, then queen to f2, attacking one bishop and again threatening with a deadly check. Black can delay for a move with g5, but after king to h3 the problem remains and white wins. Therefore black can really only try that check, and after king to h3 getting the light squared bishop to safety. But now the interesting part of the study begins. White's gonna make sure that black runs out of useful moves. First again a check. Of course, don't go to the back rank, because queen a8 check wins immediately. So king to h6, but now watch this. Queen to a8 threatens the bishop on a1, and when it runs to safety on e5, something really awkward happens to black after queen h8 check, bishop to h7 and queen f8 check, and you can see that after the only move king to g6, black cannot move anything except for that dark square bishop, and that means that the white king can simply start marching over. The king will just use the light squares and walk all the way over to the black king to assist in the checkmate. Black can only move the bishop around, and here comes the king. King to f3, bishop to e5, king to e4, bishop to c3, king to d5, bishop to e5, king to e6, bishop to d4, king to d7, bishop to c3, and after king to e8 and bishop to e5, all white needs to do now is get the king on f8. So first the queen steps aside, setting up the mate on g7. After bishop to b2, king to f8. Of course black could still prolong the inevitable with bishop to a3, but that's just silly, so when the bishop moves one last time, queen g7 finally ends the game. Very clever and a very cool study. It started out with some double attacks, but the real key to victory was that queen maneuver, first giving a check on h8, and then on f8, which made sure both the light squared bishop and the king couldn't move, and that gave the white king an easy pathway on the light squares to finally trap his opponent. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of this study. If you enjoyed, please simply like the video, it's that simple. There's also many more studies in the playlist and more are definitely coming up. I'll be seeing you guys again soon, and take care.